Hello and welcome back to the kitchen. Today I'm going to be sharing with you another one of my favourite plant-based recipes. Healthy food that is kind to the planet and will satisfy even the most committed of carnivores. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make my Chipotle and black bean quesadillas. Quesadillas are a Mexican street food staple and they make a delicious, filling and healthy plant-based lunch. So what do we need to get these quesadillas going? Well, firstly we need our tortillas. Then the main body of this dish is coming from some red kidney beans, some black turtle beans and some roasted vegetables. The flavour of this dish is coming from some sweet smoked paprika, some ground cumin, chopped coriander, fresh lime juice and some Chipotle sauce. A quesadilla isn't really a quesadilla unless it has cheese in. I'm going to be using some plant-based cheese alternatives today. To enhance that lovely smoky flavour I'm going for an applewood. And for that all-important stringy cheesiness, I'm going for a mozzarella style. Depending on what's available in the stores, all plant-based cheeses will work absolutely fine in this recipe. And to serve, I've got some spring onions, some simple salsas and a few leaves. And that's it. So let's get cooking. To start with, we need to sort our roasted vegetables out. For this, I'm using 1 red pepper, 1 red onion. They've been finely sliced. Seasoned with some salt and some olive oil. And roasted in a hot oven for around 15 minutes until well roasted. They can be left to one side to chill whilst we crack on with the rest of the mix. So get yourself a good sized mixing bowl into which we need to add the drained beans. So this is the black turtle beans and the red kidney beans. And then we just want to lightly mash these. You can either do this by hand or with a masher. I find it easier with hands. We just want to lightly crush these. We don't want to puree them. We want a little bit of texture left in the dish. Just get in there, get nice and messy. And then we're just going to squash those about a bit. They look about nicely done. Let's just give our hands a little rinse and then we can add the rest of the ingredients. Right, so that's the beans lightly mashed. Now we can go in with the flavours. So we've got our ground cumin, our smoked paprika, around half a teaspoon of salt, our chopped coriander, and then we're going to go in with 1 lime. Chop the lime in half like so, and then we're just going to squeeze that over the mix. It's really important when cooking Mexican food to add plenty of lime juice. It just gives it a wonderful freshness and vibrancy. Then we want to go in with around a tablespoon of this Chipotle sauce. Again, if you take your food on the slightly milder side, feel free to increase or decrease the amount of chili sauce you use. And then we just want to grab ourselves a wooden spoon and give this a good mix. Get all of those spices nicely combined. And now we can check the seasoning and the spice levels. Perfect. Right, so that's seasoned nicely. We can go in with our vegetables. So in go the roasted peppers and onions, and then we just want to stir those through. And this doesn't have to strictly be peppers and onions. You could use whatever vegetables you have to hand. Spinach always works quite nicely in this. Some roasted courgette, whatever you've got in the fridge really. Right, that's the mix done. We'll just pop that to one side and then we can sort out the tortillas. Now today I'm using a blended tortilla. This is 50% corn, 50% flour. If you wanted to keep this dish gluten-free, then use an all-corn tortilla. But depending on what's available in the stores, all tortillas work just fine in this recipe. So we lay our tortillas out like so, and then we just want to spread a spoonful or so of the mix over 1/2 of the tortilla. And then just using your hands or the back of a spoon if you don't like getting messy, just spread that in a nice even layer over 1/2 of the tortilla, like so. And then we can go in with our cheese. So sprinkle over a little bit of that lovely smoked applewood. Again, as I said, depending on what's available in the stores at the time, all plant-based cheeses will work just fine in this. But this smoked applewood really does back up the lovely smoky flavours coming from the Chipotle sauce. And this mozzarella style cheese just gives you that lovely stringy cheesiness that makes this so satisfying. If you are looking to keep this dish gluten-free and you're using pure corn tortillas, it's well worth checking the ingredients of the plant-based cheese, as many of these plant-based cheese alternatives do contain gluten. So once the cheese is on, we just want to fold these tortillas over like so and just gently press down. So we've got a good sized pan on over a medium heat. We're going to add around a tablespoon or so of vegetable oil. Just give that a little swirl around. And then in with the quesadillas. So just carefully lower those in, like so. Depending on the size of the pan and the size of the tortillas you use, you'll probably only get 2 in the pan at each time. And then we just want to fry those gently. These tortillas do have a habit of burning quite easily, so just keep an eye on the heat so we don't burn the tortillas. The quesadillas have had around 30 seconds or so in the oil. So we're just going to grab ourselves a slice, and then we're just going to very carefully turn these over in the pan like so. Just be very careful because obviously there is hot oil and molten cheese. And then we're just going to fry those for a minute or 2 on the other side. So these are beginning to look lovely and golden brown on both sides now. So next we just want to take ourselves a lined baking sheet like so, and then we can just carefully lift these out and then pop them onto the baking sheet like this, and then they can just go into a warm oven to stay warm whilst we fry off the next batch. So the second batch are looking nice and brown. Let's grab the first ones out of the oven. Carefully lift these over onto the tray like so. Let's tuck in. You can hear that lovely crunch on them, that's what you're looking for. Nice crisp tortilla with melting cheese inside and all of that lovely flavour coming from the beans and the spices. So let's grab ourselves a plate. Take one quesadilla, chop it in half like so. Onto a plate. I'll add a few of these leaves. and then a little bit of this pico de gallo. Pico de gallo is just a fancy word for tomato salsa. This is just some fresh tomatoes, chilies, garlic, coriander, some lime juice and olive oil with a little salt and pepper. Just makes a lovely fresh accompaniment to these quesadillas. And there you have it. Black bean and chipotle quesadillas, 100% plant-based, absolutely packed full of flavour. Let's see how they taste. So good. The heat from that chipotle is coming through. You've got the smokiness coming through from the cheese. All we need now is a nice cold cerveza, and these would be perfect. I hope you have enjoyed watching today's episode as much as I'm going to enjoy tucking into these delicious quesadillas as soon as filming is done. There is a full recipe in the description below, and I can't wait to see you again for the next episode of Chef Gone Vegan. Bye bye.